everybody. At the Baker's today we are making chili verde, and I apologize, I was already a little bit into this project when I decided I should probably invite you in, show you what's happening today. So here's what's going on. I bought pork shoulder at Costco the other day, already sliced up in their chunks. They kind of call it like boneless rib meat, so that's easier to cut for the chunks. So pork shoulder. So I'm cutting that into small pieces, right, like 1 by 2 kind of pieces, 1.5 by 1.5, something like that. I'm almost done with that. I've already got one batch finished and in the pan, and one batch already out of the pan. Like I said, I was late inviting you in, but ooh, this guy's a problem. And some of it is a little fatty, and so I'm trimming that away. You know, you want some fat, obviously, for the flavor, but you don't need all of it. So far I've got like all this that we're not keeping. So basically, after you cut it into the chunks, you put it in a bag with flour and red chili peppers, and you kind of coat all the pieces like that. Then, the next thing that happens is you brown it in oil in a pan. So this is the second batch here, already browning in the oil, so he's about halfway done. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this part, and then I'm going to check back in with you, okay? Talk to you soon. Okay, so this is what that pan looks like now. Everybody's browned on both sides. I'm going to dump it into my Ninja insert pot, and then I'm going to get working on the third batch. You brown it in sections to make sure it all gets really good and brown. And then I'm going to work on the other ingredients, so I'll get back to you then. Okay, so the meat's done, and I'm cutting my onions, hence the super snazzy onion goggles. I think you can buy these at Sur La Table, as well as many other places. So it's just half of a white onion. I usually cut it not super small, because I kind of like it to be a little bit chunky, kind of like the meat is. So I don't go really small on the onions. You know, maybe some people do, I don't know. I got this recipe from my dear friend Beth, and I believe it came from one of her sisters. Both of her sisters are super good cooks. So that's where it came from. It's really easy, which is one of the things I like about it, because I don't consider myself to be a good cook. So we've got half of a white onion cut, and then I've got 1/3 to a half bunch of green onions cut. And then the next thing we do is cut a jalapeno. So obviously the jalapeno and how much red chili pepper, okay, how about I take that off now, and how much red chili pepper you use determines how hot it's going to be. This looks to me like a reasonably tame, I don't know if you can see that in the light, reasonably tame jalapeno, because it doesn't have the little brown lines on it, which I think usually means it's a little bit hotter. The other thing that's important is whether or not you use the seeds and the veins and the stem portion, not the stem, but the veining inside. That's the other thing that determines how hot it's going to be. So you kind of figure that out based on your family's taste. So we're going to have the jalapeno that I'm going to cut up here, and then we're also going to have 1/3 bunch of cilantro and a couple other ingredients that you'll see in a minute. Okay, so last thing, we've got our 1/3 bunch of cilantro, so we're just chopping that up, making it reasonably small. Almost done. This is my best skill with the knife. Imprecise chopping. That's what I'm good at. Okay, so everybody's ready now. I've got all of the meat is in my Ninja insert, which is super lightweight. That's one of the reasons I love this thing. And this is like a non-stick surface on it, so it cleans really well. The other way you could do this would be in a Dutch oven. And we do also have a really nice Le Creuset pot that would be perfect for this, but we decided to just do it in the crock pot and let it go for a really long time all day today and really slow cook it, versus putting it in the oven and doing it for like 3 hours or so. So that's the timeline for it. So we've got this. We're going to dump everything else in. We've got our jalapenos all chopped up. kind of fine, but not too fine. And then the cilantro. So these guys are going in. The green onions are going in. The white onions are going in. We have 7 ounces of chicken broth, or at least we think we do, because you can't read my 2-cup measure to save your life, so I'm basically guessing. But that's okay, it's not really going to matter. We also have a 28-ounce can of green enchilada sauce, which goes in. And last but not least, a 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. So that's everything. Super simple. Now we're going to stir it up and throw it over here in the Ninja pot, let it hang out for the day. Later, when I take up the lid, if it has too much fluid in it, more fluid than I want, then I'm just going to take the lid off and turn the pot up to stovetop and high and let it boil down, which is great because then that really intensifies the juices and really gets everything tender and delicious. So I will snap a picture of it later when it's done so you can see the finished product. Have a great day. So here's what it looks like before we get started. And we'll check back with you in a few hours, 6 or so, and see what it's looking like then. Here we are, about 6 hours later, and this is how we're looking. Looks pretty delicious. Smells super delicious. Sorry we don't have smell-o-vision like in Willy Wonka. There is a little bit more fluid than I would like, so I'm going to turn up the heat and let it boil that down a little bit to make it even more delicious. And that's where we're at right now. Okay, so it's almost chili verde time. I'm just boiling down the liquid a little bit. I did taste the meat and it's super tender, so that went really well. I added a little bit of garlic powder and black pepper to taste. And when we serve it, I'm gonna top it with a little bit of sour cream and maybe some shredded cheese. Might squeeze a little lemon or lime in there to give it a little extra kick. And I'm gonna have some flour tortillas and refried beans. So that's what's on the table tonight at the baker's house. Hope everybody's doing well. I'll go ahead and post the recipe in case any of you want to try it at home. And I hope you're having a great day. Take care.